There is a specific kind of exhaustion that sleep cannot fix. You know this feeling all too well. It is the heavy burden of reacting to everything around you. Important note, this is timeless wisdom. Read the description below this video to aid you in achieving the optimum results, because your subconscious mind requires the proper tools to evolve. You wake up, and immediately the world demands your attention. A comment from a coworker bothers you. A minor inconvenience ruins your morning. You feel like a leaf blown around by a violent wind. And every single day you spend your precious energy fighting battles that do not matter. You try to stay calm, but the frustration always returns because the world is designed to test your limits. It sits heavy in your chest. You are tired in a way that coffee and rest cannot cure. You are emotionally bankrupt. I see the silent war you are fighting. Most men live their entire lives trapped in this exact cycle. They believe the world is just stressful. They assume that getting angry is a normal response to a broken society. But I am here to tell you a fundamental truth. The chaos you feel is not coming from the outside. The world is not doing this to you. You are doing it to yourself. You have allowed the external world to dictate your internal state. And this is the definition of the drifter. A drifter has no walls to protect his mind. He is completely exposed to the elements. When it rains, he gets wet. When someone insults him, he immediately bleeds. He is a slave to circumstance, and he will spend his entire life wondering why he never achieved greatness. Think about the last time you lost your temper. Think about the last time a small problem consumed your entire day. You handed over your power. You gave a stranger the remote control to your emotions. This is an exhausting way to exist. It drains the life force required to build your empire. The architect of destiny cannot afford to bleed energy over trivial things while his goals remain unfinished. He cannot be moved by the opinions of the masses. Yet you find yourself constantly triggered. You feel stuck in a loop of constant irritation. Do not blame your personality. Do not say you were just born with a short fuse. That is a lie the weak tell themselves to avoid responsibility. You do not have an anger problem. You do not have a stress problem. You have a programming problem. Deep within the architecture of your subconscious mind, there is a hidden script. It taught you that you must react to everything. It taught you that every problem requires an emotional response. This outdated script is running quietly in the background right now. It is constantly scanning your environment for threats. It wants you to feel offended. This is your invisible enemy. Your subconscious mind is a tireless worker. If your default setting is to be bothered by everything, your subconscious will hunt for things to bother you. You will ignore 100 blessings to focus on a single insult. This is not because the world is hostile. It is because your internal software is corrupted. Until you locate this script and rip it out by the roots, you will remain a prisoner. Your external reality is merely a reflection of your internal chaos. Every empire built on a reactive mind will eventually collapse. You cannot build generational wealth if you cannot control your focus. You cannot command respect if a minor delay makes you lose your composure. Men of power understand this universal law. The true sovereign commander rules his internal world first. He builds a massive fortress around his mind. When the storms come, he observes them from behind thick glass. He does not step outside to scream at the rain. He acts as if nothing bothers him because nothing can bother him without his permission. This is the ultimate power move. It is the ability to remain completely unaffected by the chaos around you. It makes average men incredibly uncomfortable. They will try to provoke you. They will try to drag you down into their emotional mud. But when you master the art of being unbothered, you become an unstoppable force. Your silence becomes your greatest weapon. You stop leaking energy and start channeling it into your definite purpose. This level of cold calmness is not something you are born with. It is a discipline that you must forge in the fire of conscious choice. Stop what you are doing and listen to me. Truly listen. You must make a decision today to evict the mental parasites. You must stop playing the victim to your own emotional reactions. The Creator takes absolute responsibility for every thought that enters his temple. He is the mental gatekeeper. If a thought does not serve his vision, he denies it entry. He simply refuses to engage. This sounds simple, but it requires ruthless execution. You must learn to separate your identity from your passing emotions. You are not your anger. You are the silent observer watching the anger pass by. You must evict the drifter mentality and install the operating system of the 1%. They do not react. They observe and they strategize. They know that whoever controls their emotions controls their reality. The invisible enemy has been named. It is your own conditioned reactivity. But knowing the enemy is only the first step. Now you must declare war on your old self. You must reclaim the territory of your mind. Say this out loud to yourself right now. I am the master of my focus. I refuse to give my power to temporary circumstances. I am the sovereign commander of my internal state. Let these words echo in the silent chambers of your mind. You are taking back the steering wheel. The era of being easily provoked is over. You have taken the first step out of the darkness. You now recognize the corrupted software running your reactions. The drifter will hear this and quickly forget it. He will go back to being offended by the world tomorrow. But the Creator will step forward. You will use this realization as a stepping stone. You are ready to understand the deeper laws that govern this reality. By the end of this chapter, you will understand exactly why your hard work has not paid off, and the one hidden mechanism running in your brain right now that is blocking your wealth. We will now uncover the hidden architecture that separates the masters from the masses. You think you are losing your mind because you no longer react the way you used to. People call you cold. They say you are becoming distant or arrogant. But here is the terrifying truth that society desperately wants to hide from you. You are not losing your mind at all. You are simply losing your outdated programming, and you are finally shedding the weak skin of the drifter. Let me explain this law clearly. Society has taught you a massive lie about power. They want you to believe that power is loud. They want you to think that reacting with anger shows strength and dominance over your peers. But loud reactions are always the mating call of the weak. True power is completely silent. It is the rare ability to absorb massive impact without moving a single inch. The universe works by law and not by clock. This means your reality is governed by strict, invisible rules. And the most absolute rule of human existence is the sacred law of mental dominion. Your mind is a powerful receiver and a transmitter of frequency. Every time you get angry at a trivial inconvenience, you lower your frequency to match the chaos. You become the chaos. Let us look closely at the drifter. The drifter believes he is the helpless victim of a hostile world. He wakes up every morning and anxiously waits to see what kind of day he will have. If the weather is bad, he is miserable. If traffic is slow, he is furious. His internal state is entirely dependent on external conditions that he cannot control. He is a puppet dancing on the strings of circumstance. The subconscious mind of the drifter simply records this panic. Your subconscious is a tireless contractor. It builds exactly what you instruct it to build through your emotional reactions. When you constantly react with rage, you are handing the contractor blueprints for more chaos. It assumes you actually enjoy the daily struggle because you give it so much attention, so it brings you more problems. Now look at the architect of destiny. Look at the Creator. The Creator understands that his attention is his most valuable currency in this life. He does not spend it on petty arguments. He does not invest his focus in temporary drama. When a violent storm arrives, the Creator does not yell at the sky. He quietly observes the heavy rain and continues his important work. What is controlling your mind today? Is it fear or doubt, or the irritating words of a complete stranger? Stop and assess your mental fortress right now. You must audit your daily thoughts with absolute ruthlessness if you want to win. The Creator knows that his internal world must remain unshakable. He views external chaos as mere data to be processed and discarded. When someone insults the Creator, he does not bleed. He analyzes the insult as a simple mathematical equation. He realizes the insult belongs entirely to the other person, and it has absolutely nothing to do with him. This is the paradoxical sign of supreme mastery. People will mistake your heavy silence for weakness. They will think they have defeated you because you do not fight back. But you are not fighting back because you are playing a completely different game. The drifter fights for immediate validation. The creator builds for generational legacy and supreme freedom. You cannot pull a powerful king off his throne by throwing tiny pebbles at his heavy boots. He simply will not look down. You must become this completely unbothered entity. You must adopt the worldview of the sovereign commander. Every single event in your life is either a useful tool or a dangerous distraction. There is no neutral ground. A missed flight is not a disaster unless you consciously decide that it is. A financial setback is just a temporary shift in the invisible season of your growth. The universe is merely testing the strength of your new resolve. Say this aloud right now. I am the cause and not the effect of my reality. Say it again until the heavy vibration of the words settles deep into your bones. You must train your brain to stop reacting on blind autopilot. You must forcefully insert a crucial gap between the external trigger and your internal response. In that silent gap lies your ultimate freedom. Drifting is the ultimate enemy of the awakened man. A wrong decision is better than no decision, and a silent response is infinitely stronger than a loud reaction. Every time you successfully ignore a provocation, you are lifting a heavy weight in the gym of the mind. You are slowly thickening the defensive walls of your permanent mental sanctuary. And soon, you will notice a magnificent shift in your daily reality. The minor things that used to derail your entire week will barely register in your conscious awareness. People who constantly try to bring you down will simply fade away from your new life. The universe permanently stops sending you petty tests when it clearly sees you no longer react to them. This brings us back to the great paradox. Your cold calmness is not a sign of emotional death or internal weakness. It is the undeniable proof of your absolute sovereignty over your environment. You have finally ascended beyond the petty squabbles of the 99%. You have stopped consuming drama and started actively creating reality. This is the supreme weapon of the builder. But philosophy alone will not save you when the fire gets incredibly hot. You cannot simply think your way out of a lifetime of bad mental habits. The drifter loves to listen to wise words while doing absolutely nothing to change his actual life. We must move far beyond theory and look at the undisputed proof of history. We must carefully observe the untouchable titans. How did the greatest minds in history maintain their perfect sanity while the world burned around them? They used a specific mental framework that most ordinary people consider completely impossible. In the next chapter, we will examine the living proof of this timeless law. We will carefully dissect the exact mechanism used by the untouchable masters of reality. Let us look to the example of Thomas Edison. He is remembered as a brilliant inventor who illuminated the modern world. But most people do not know the story of his darkest night. In December of 1914, a massive explosion rocked his primary research facility. Fire consumed everything he had built over decades of relentless labor. The flames burned incredibly bright. They destroyed years of priceless work. The average drifter would collapse in total despair. He would scream at the universe and curse his terrible luck. But Edison did not react like a fragile victim because he knew that panic serves absolutely no purpose in a crisis. He did not weep over the burning ashes of his empire. Instead, he called his son over to watch the magnificent fire. He calmly stated that they would never see a fire this beautiful again. He completely detached his emotions from the physical destruction. He understood a fundamental truth about human reality. The fire was already burning, and no amount of anger could put it out. Reacting with rage would only drain the vital energy he needed to rebuild his life. He acted as if nothing bothered him because his mind was fully protected. He was the ultimate mental gatekeeper. He knew that external circumstances have zero power over the sovereign commander. By the very next morning, Edison was already planning a completely new facility. He told his colleagues they were just clearing out the old rubbish to make way for better things. This is the exact mechanism of the 1%. They do not fight the uncontrollable events of the physical world. They immediately accept the raw data and pivot their tremendous focus toward the next logical step. How did a man with massive losses build his empire back so quickly? It was not luck. He used a specific mental protocol that you can replicate tonight. He recognized that the human brain operates under strict biological rules. When you panic, a tiny part of your brain called the amygdala completely hijacks your logical thinking. You literally lose your ability to see hidden opportunities because your system is flooded with fear. The drifter lives entirely in this reactive state of fear. His amygdala is constantly firing false alarms over trivial annoyances, like slow traffic. But the creator learns to manually override this primitive biological response. When disaster strikes, you must forcefully slow down your breathing and detach from the rising panic. You must command your nervous system to remain perfectly still in the violent storm. This cold calmness allows the higher centers of your brain to process complex solutions. Neuroscience confirms what ancient wisdom has always known. A calm mind is a highly dangerous and remarkably effective weapon. When you act as if nothing bothers you, you are physically rewiring your neural pathways. You are training your reticular activating system to hunt for brilliant advantages instead of imaginary threats. Look at another giant of human history. Marcus Aurelius was arguably the most powerful man in the world. He ruled the massive Roman Empire during times of brutal war and devastating plague. He faced daily betrayals and unimaginable personal stress. Yet his private journals reveal a man of absolute internal peace. He wrote that you have power over your mind and not outside events. Realize this truth, and you will find tremendous strength. He did not let the chaotic actions of other people disturb his soul. If an enemy insulted him, he viewed it as a passing breeze. He understood that another person's bitter opinion could not physically touch him unless he allowed it to penetrate his armor. He was the true architect of destiny because he built his foundation on unshakable internal logic. He knew that anger is always more destructive than the injury itself. You must adopt this exact same posture today. When a coworker tries to provoke you, you must remain completely silent. Look at them with a blank expression and absolutely refuse to play their petty game. They want you to react because your immediate reaction gives them a false sense of significance. By giving them absolutely nothing, you starve their fragile ego and protect your own vital energy. This is how you win. Your silence is a heavy shield that deflects their negativity right back onto them. It shows them that they do not possess the necessary clearance level to access your emotions. You are a sovereign commander. You do not step down from your high throne to argue with angry peasants in the mud. Let them drown in their own bitter chaos while you remain clean. Do not just listen to this ancient wisdom. Write it down right now. I am completely unaffected by the chaos of average men. Say it aloud until your physical body fully believes it. You are installing a powerful new software directly into your subconscious mind. You are building the unbreakable defensive walls of your internal fortress brick by heavy brick. The drifter consumes this information and immediately goes back to sleep. The master extracts the protocol and uses it to dominate his reality. Which one are you? You now know the hidden mechanism of the Titans. You understand the biological and historical proof of absolute detachment. But merely understanding the law is only the beginning of your journey. You must physically practice this detachment until it becomes your permanent natural state. The Titans did not achieve this level of mastery by merely hoping for peace. They actively trained their minds through rigorous and unforgiving daily rituals. They performed specific routines to clear the noise and lock in their powerful frequency. And you must do exactly the same thing. That is how you protect your precious energy during the chaos of the day. But protecting it is only step one. Now you must learn how to actively multiply it in the dark hours. You must learn the exact physical steps to reprogram your deep mind. And that brings us to the sacred law of the night ritual. We must prepare the mental temple for the architect. You now stand at the most crucial threshold of this entire journey. Understanding the law of detachment is completely useless if you do not physically practice it. Most men try to force themselves to be calm during a sudden crisis, but forcing calmness when you are already drowning is a terrible and ineffective strategy. You must build your life raft long before the storm arrives. This requires a strict protocol that you execute every single day without fail. The drifter lives his life on accident and reacts to whatever happens, while the creator designs his mental state on purpose before the day even begins. And the most important battleground for this intelligent design is the final 15 minutes before you fall asleep. Your subconscious mind never sleeps. It is a tireless machine that processes your final waking thoughts and amplifies them for 8 straight hours. If you fall asleep worrying about a heavy bill, your brain builds a reality of massive scarcity. You are literally commanding your internal contractor to build more chaos for you to wake up in. You must ruthlessly protect this vulnerable window of time. I call this essential practice cosmic housekeeping. You must cut off all toxic inputs at least 1 full hour before bed. No more scrolling through angry news. No more arguing with strangers on the internet. You are a sovereign commander, and you do not allow garbage into your sacred temple. This brings us to the exact physical ritual you must perform tonight. Find a completely quiet space where absolutely no one will interrupt you. Sit in the dark and take 10 deep breaths to slow your physical heart rate. You must intentionally lower your brain waves from the frantic beta state into the highly receptive alpha frequency. Once your body is completely still, you must review the events of your day and look at the moments where you lost your temper or felt anxious. Observe them objectively, like a brilliant scientist looking at raw data. Do not judge yourself or feel guilty. Simply recognize where the enemy breached your walls and mentally rehearse a completely calm response. See yourself facing that exact same stressful situation with cold calmness. Visualize the heavy chaos happening around you while you remain perfectly rooted to the solid ground. Your brain actually does not know the difference between a vivid imagination and physical reality. By visualizing this deep peace, you are literally installing new hardware into your nervous system. Then you must state your definite chief aim aloud to the empty room. You must act as if you already possess the absolute power and the wealth you desire. The drifter waits for his bank account to grow before he feels confident, but the creator walks and talks like a king even when his pockets are completely empty. This is the ultimate magnetic force. Say this aloud to yourself in the dark and quiet room. I am the architect of my destiny. I reject the chaotic noise of the 99%. My mind is a heavy fortress, and absolutely nothing enters without my strict permission. You must say this with supreme authority until you feel a physical shift in your chest. You are making a binding contract. You must repeat this exact ritual every single night for the rest of your life. It is not a temporary trick or a cheap quick fix. It is the permanent operating system of the 1%. When you wake up the next morning, you will carry a heavy and powerful silence with you. People will immediately sense that you are no longer an easy target for their drama. They will definitely try to test your new boundaries by creating a minor crisis to see if you have truly changed or if you are just faking it. This is the paradoxical sign that the universe is actively responding to your new frequency. Do not fail this critical test. Always remember the silent gap between the trigger and your response. Breathe slowly and observe the panic of others without joining them. You have now received the exact protocol of the untouchable titans. The action command loop is fully closed. You hold the sharp sword in your own hands. But possessing the weapon and having the courage to swing it are two very different things. The ultimate choice is now yours. We are rapidly approaching the final boundary. The drifter will turn back now because the required discipline is too heavy for his weak shoulders. But the creator will step across the line and claim his rightful throne. In the final chapter, we will burn the bridge back to your old life forever. You must prepare yourself for the ultimate vow. Listen to me carefully. The world is watching and waiting for you to break. It wants you to remain small and easily distracted. But you are no longer compatible with that average frequency. The time for practicing in the shadows is almost over. You are about to step into the blinding light of your true potential. Take one final deep breath before we enter the climax. You are about to make a decision that will echo through the rest of your life. Do not blink and do not look away. Your old identity is about to be completely destroyed. Let the weak version of yourself die quietly tonight. The sovereign commander is ready to take the wheel. You know the exact mechanism. You have the daily ritual. You understand the profound danger of reacting to meaningless external noise. There are absolutely no more excuses left for you to hide behind. The only thing standing between you and absolute mastery is your own stubborn fear, and we are going to completely destroy that fear right now. Prepare your mind for the final and glorious shift. This is where the true believers separate themselves from the casual tourists. Stand firm in your new foundation. The heavy storm of your own greatness is finally here. The time for drifting is officially over. You have heard the absolute law, and you have the daily protocol. Every excuse you have ever made was nothing but a shadow. And shadows instantly disappear when you finally turn on the heavy light. You can no longer pretend that your circumstances are holding you back, because your own undisciplined mind is the only prison that exists. There is no neutral thought in this universe. Every single thought is either pushing you forward or violently pulling you back. It is either moving you toward absolute freedom, and the man who truly realizes this begins to treat his thoughts as powerful tools. He stops treating them like cheap toys, because when you command your internal state, you become extremely dangerous to the system. Society wants you distracted because a distracted man is incredibly easy to control. They want you arguing over trivial nonsense so you never build your massive empire. But you have seen behind the heavy curtain today, and you have finally identified the invisible enemy. You have the sharp sword required to cut those generational chains forever. The fire of your new awareness is burning away the old debris. Do not mourn the loss of your easily offended self, because that weak man only caused you tremendous pain and unnecessary suffering. Step out of the burning house and do not ever look back. You are walking into a massive open field of unlimited potential. You are stepping onto the sacred grounds of absolute sovereignty. Every time you choose peace over anger, you accumulate massive energetic wealth. You literally become a living magnet for abundance and high-level opportunities. Wealth is never chased by the master, but it is effortlessly magnetized by a mind operating on a disciplined and unshakable frequency. You do not get what you desperately want in this life. You get exactly what you are. And today you have chosen to be the sovereign commander. The transition is highly demanding, but the magnificent reward is total freedom. You will walk through chaotic storms and feel completely dry. You will face heavy financial losses and immediately see the hidden advantage because your mind is locked onto the frequency of permanent victory. This is the true meaning of supreme mastery. The world is waiting not for a perfect version of you, but for a highly disciplined thinker. It is waiting for a conscious creator who has chosen to rise above the mental noise. That man is inside of you right now, and it is time to forcefully wake him up. You must say to yourself that the era of small thinking is permanently over. You will no longer let fear write your life script. That sad chapter of playing the victim is completely finished, and a massive new chapter begins with one single unshakable decision. You are one decision away from incredible momentum. You are one belief away from supreme clarity. But that magnificent shift will never happen unless you personally command it to happen. The universe responds to absolute certainty and nothing else. I do not invite you to try. I command you to decide. Will you return to the chaotic misery of the masses, or will you step into the quiet power of the 1%? You did not click this video by accident today. You came here as a man exhausted by the heavy drift, and you were completely tired of playing the helpless victim to outside circumstances that you could not control. But today you have finally remembered who you truly are. You are the mental gatekeeper of your own powerful thoughts. From this night forward, you act entirely independent of cheap motivation. You are a massive builder in the invisible season of your life. Stand up right now and claim your heavy throne, because you are the sole architect of your entire magnificent destiny. The world has absolutely no choice but to bend to your highly disciplined mind. When you walk into a room, your cold calmness will instantly command tremendous respect. Average men will feel your heavy frequency and step completely out of your way. This is not arrogant pride, but it is the quiet confidence of a sovereign commander who has completely conquered his own restless soul. Your thoughts are the vital key, and your incredible destiny is waiting. Never again let a passing negative thought dictate your permanent future. You have broken free from the heavy shackles of reactive thinking. Now you must seal this powerful transformation with a physical action, and you must sign a binding contract with the watching universe right now before you go to sleep. Hesitation is the ultimate death of human destiny. If you wait until tomorrow to commit, the drifter will slowly take over your mind again. Write your definite purpose in the comments below this exact video. Just declare your absolute intention to become unbothered and unstoppable. Let those written words be your sacred vow to the listening universe. These will not be just empty words on a digital screen. They will serve as a physical monument to the exact moment you took back your power. Leave the most important line in the comments to seal your new reality. State it with supreme power, and do not ever apologize for your ambition, because the universe only respects the man who violently demands his rightful place in the world. This heavy knowledge will not serve you if you hear it only once. The old corrupted software will try to secretly reinstall itself when you are weak. The subconscious mind absolutely requires daily repetition to build a new permanent world. Therefore, I command you to listen to this specific lesson again and again. You must treat this powerful tradition as sacred and fiercely protect it. Play this recording as you fall asleep tonight. Play it as you work quietly in the dark. Make these supreme principles the only voice you tolerate in your head. When the world tries to provoke you tomorrow, you will remember the cold calmness of the Titans. Subscribe to this channel if this powerful tradition is finally yours, and join the elite ranks of those who refuse to drift. Your old, weak identity is completely dead and buried in the past. You are the master of your fate and the brilliant captain of your soul. Walk forward into the loud noise and remain perfectly silent. The ultimate power move belongs entirely to you now. Your magnificent new life begins in this exact moment, and absolutely nothing will ever be the same again.